Hello, my name is Gaida Christian and I will pitch my game like this. This is Awaken the Time. I started to work on it this year in 8th of January. Awaken the Time is a story-based game based on a story from another game that I wanted to make, and that would be an MMORPG, but since that is way too much of a scope for one person, I started to work on Awaken the Time and change the perspective. Here you play as a god that can travel back in time through to his past lives where he was just a human. Here you start the journey as a samurai, not knowing why is he here, how he got here, who he is, but I will play you a short demo. Here you see, let me just make my camera smaller, myself smaller. He has two types of sword. You see this sword from the trailer. I will show you at the end of this speech. And here is his first companion that will help him through this maze. I want to optimize the game even further because I want to port it on Xbox, PlayStation and on Nintendo. Here it is the third act. He is another character in a post-apocalyptic environment, and I jumped directly here because this is the most confusing part. So how did I go from samurai to this guy doing this? Well, the story is like this. Because it's a story-based game, it will make sense story-wise. This is the part that you will never see in other games. This is why my game is unique, because it has such different worlds that are not normal, and I will make it normal through my story. So the samurai gets to the end of the maze. I will cut the story as short as possible. There, in the flip, it will wake up and he will be in a normal house. After an earthquake, he will go to the garage and he will see that AI that I showed you in the beginning, the flying orb that was talking to the player. That AI will throw the player into the future in this environment. This character will have the same memories as the character that woke up, but they are totally different people. Here he will fight a lot of zombies. He will try to figure out how to get back home because he will think that everything is related to his past life, and this is another life, but he has the same memories. At the end of this map, he will go to another place because here he won't be able to find any device, any clue. So he will go to that place and he will see, I will show you very fast. He will see that the bridge connecting the two islands, now you cannot see the second island because of the fog. The bridge connecting the two islands was destroyed. So the AI makes a sacrifice and says to him that he will use his last power to transport him back in time. But that's actually a lie. And he throws him even further into the future. So he arrives here. But look at this. He's a woman now. Every map is an open world map, so you don't have to go directly into a straight line. I designed it like this, and I plan to add more. Here is a bunker. She will go into this bunker. She sees this. I want to make the same thing for the second act, where it's for now it's just a cinematic. And she sees this suit in this force field, and by the time she gets there, so she gets into this body. Here she will hear a voice. By the time she exits, she realizes that she can jump really high and the things are out of the place. That voice will be a person that will tell her that she wants to be rescued. Since she has this bionicle suit, she will want to help the other person. On this map, she will find these upgrades. These upgrades will give her different abilities, like stopping the time, reversing time, and here it will be a maximum facility inside of this mountain, and she's only way will be through the sewers. By the time she gets to the end, she will see this. She will recognize her from the first act, and now the memories will come back. This is the entity that tried to kill her. She will tell her that these force fields that you see here, trapping her hands, her legs, and her mind, and also the lightning that you see around her, will make it possible to stay near her, because in the first act, just to get close to her, you will die. And she will come here, the door will slam. After talk, the AI will manage to come here and try to convince her not to jump into the lava and try to figure a way out. But the robot will tell her, remember, when you enter the bunker, there were cliffs. When you exited the bunker with your suit, there were no cliffs anymore. Cliffs don't just disappear like that. And the time didn't pass so much that the cliffs would have eroded. So she slowly convinces her that this is just a dream. She will jump into the lava. He will come out of a chamber, the god that you are actually. When this god will look back, he will see this character, and lights will start to appear all around him, and there will be all the characters that you played and even more, and he will remember that those are actually his past lives. Jumping from one lifetime to another won't make any sense even for the god. So he will go to a control room, he will make a test chamber, and he will enter this test chamber. By the time he enters this test chamber, he will shut down, entering in that dimension that he will create, and the AI will bow down. Here it will have a normal physical form, not that floating energy that you will see throughout the game. There will be a black smoke with eyes coming out of the dark and tell the AI that he did well. And hopefully this time it will be trapped forever. So how is this connected to my MMO? The black smoke is actually the player who would have finished the MMO story, and the character that you are playing here, it is a god, one of 23 gods that survived the war with this character, and at the end of times where there's nothing, he created with the portion of himself that reality, and not to go insane or alone, he created all the past lives that he had as a human and recreated all of them. So this is how my game makes sense, with having 3 games in 1 game. But in the maze, like you saw, there are texts on the book stands. Those texts actually tell the story about the god, who he is, who he was, and how he got through all this by himself. Awaken the Time and how it makes sense. How are the 3 gameplay styles in 1 game are connected and makes sense. So I will tell you my future plans. My plans are, I want to finish Awaken the Time and maybe make a sequel, because I have plans even for that. But until we get there, I want financial support. I want to add custom characters. I want to add custom music, custom voices, because mostly are my voice throughout the game. I want to put it through market because I'm not very good at it, and I also want to improve in this area.